In this video lesson, I will show you how to play with white against King's Indian. I will show you very solid system. So, okay, we can start. D4, knight f6, c4, g6, g3, bishop to g7, bishop to g2, short castle, knight f3, d6. So, uh, this is a very solid system. The main idea of this Fianchetto against King's Indian is to uh, avoid any attack. And in this system, I think that the most unpleasant for black that in this system, black is it is very difficult for black to create attack on the king side. So in this position, black has three options: knight b2, sorry, one shot, yeah, knight b2 d7, knight b2 d7. Knight b2 d7, uh, yeah, with the idea to play e5, knight c6. The main idea of this move is to play a6, rook b8, and sometimes also the idea is to play bishop to f5. e5 is not so strong here, and the move c6. The idea of this move is this is quite flexible idea. Uh, Usually, then queen a5, following c6, following by queen to c5, and then e5. Okay, and this is a man. Also, there is c5 move, and also there is yeah. After c5, we can play just d5, and usually this position with this move, other black prefer e6, uh, transposing to modern Benoni position. So I will show you this line later in the video how to play against modern Benoni. Okay, knight b to d7. This I think we can start with this. This is the main approach. Um, maybe not the strongest nowadays. I think this objectively strongest is knight to c6, but it's how to say, it's the most typical for King's Indian players to start with knight b to d7 with the intention to play e5. Okay, what to do? Knight to c3, e5, e4. Yeah, yeah. Of course, we build strong center, and the main idea of this line for white is just to keep the just to finish the development. Very important is to put this bishop on e3. And okay, my idea is okay. For example, c6, h3, um, a5, bishop e3. Then, for example, queen to c2, rook a to d1, rook e1. And the problem for black in this position, what to do then? Yeah, because when the center is not closed, it is very difficult for black to play f5 because in this case the center is closed and white take on e5, white take on e5. For example, let me show you. Keep answer like this take, and this is a very weak hanging pawns. Black has the black's king is very weak, so this typical King's Indian counterplay doesn't work here. And this is a main idea of white in when white play g3 line. So, but what to do for black? What is good uh, in this position? Black has a choice between two moves, yes, two options. First option is just to take on d4 immediately, and the second option is not hurry with this e takes d4, and to play just c6, a5, rook e8, something like this. Okay, and now it is very important to know this legendary game of Tigran Petrosian. The game was played by Tigran Petrosian in 1978. Tigran Petrosian played against quite strong Romanian master, Victor Chakilty. And Victor Chakilty in this position played c6. And of course, h3. Very, very important move. Very important move here. Because otherwise, after bishop e3, knight g4 is annoying. And it's not good for, okay, of course, for white is a terrible idea to give up this bishop for the knight, and of course white has to avoid this. For this reason, h3 very important move for Fianchetto variation. Rook to e8, bishop to e3, a5 was played in the game, and now queen to c2, a4. Now very, very important to okay, rook to a to b1 was played in the game, and now it is very important for white to remember this trap. Uh, Queen to 7 was played in the game, and it looks like that the pawn on e4 is hanging, and white has to protect this pawn with f3. But no, it's not good move, because after knight h5, this pawn is hanging, and in case of this move, knight to g3, bishop g3, and the knight is hanging. For this reason, f3 doesn't work. In case of knight d2, f5 works very well. For this reason, f3 is very bad. And in this position, if you you need to remember, you have to remember this trap, rook b to d1. At first glance, it looks like it was played in the game by Petrosyan, and at first glance, it looks like a very bad move, because black has just simple move to take on e4, and black win the pawn. But in reality, it's not true, because after this, take, white has very strong move, bishop to d2, to protect this rook, and black loses the game, because in case of queen c2, there is rook e8, and then take this knight, and white win the rook. And in case of queen d4, there is take, and then get bishop to h6. And black has to resign, because rook e8, checkmate, and the queen on d4 is hanging. This is very important trap. So, and now if bishop d7, yeah, we have bishop e4, and now also another trap, this bishop e4 threatening to take on c6, and then take on g6. Attack the queen and the knight in the case of this. So, very good, win the pawn. This is also a typical trap for this line. Okay, knight f to d7 was played, logical continuation, and very, very, very typical for this setup. Knight f to d7, rook to e2, knight to e5, b3, a takes b3, a takes b3, f6. Yeah, also very important, this b3 move. Okay, but for this reason, okay, it's a blunder to play a3. And this blunder also was made by Mikhail Botvinnik in his famous game against Efim Petrovich Geller. Very bad move a3, because then now this pawn is hanging, and it's impossible to protect this pawn, because if we play this, he take on b3 and destroy. And after this, let me show you. This pawn structure is totally destroyed on the queen side. So this is very bad for white. For this reason, very important is to keep this pawn on a2, because now we have b3, and now very important that a takes b3. F6 was played in the game. Very bad move, because this bishop is very good piece, and but after f6, this bishop is very passive. So now white has a very big advantage, because space advantage, and before. And this is, look on this position. This is a dreaming position for white in this setup. If white achieve this position, white has a very, very big advantage. And it's extremely unpleasant for black to play these sort of positions. Okay, let me show you in the game. Okay, if you want to um, if you want to see this game, I sent a link. I sent this game in the description under the video. Uh, so knight to d7. Okay, what else? What else? What other options for black in this position? And the first option is the second option is just to take immediately. And here black has some ideas, not a lot of ideas, but black has two ideas here. First idea is just to attack this pawn and I don't know, to play this and then a5 or maybe immediately a5 or maybe just bishop d7 and to play a5 later. And the second idea is not to play knight c5 to free this square for this pawn c5 and to play a6. The idea of this move is to play b5. Not b5 is to play, yeah, is to play, yeah, is to just to play b5 to attack this pawn. This is a quite unpleasant idea, and you have to know what to do against this. And after this, what about? I think it's sometimes a4 is possible move because just to avoid this b5 idea. Also, there are some tricky ideas like rook to b1 because this, then play 4, take, and then queen to d6. So rook b1 is very important in some moment because rook b1 because this bishop on g7 is very strong and this is a good idea just uh, to avoid this threat to this rook. Okay, knight c5, rook e1. Yeah, this was played by this legendary game of Fianchetto. But nowadays, it's not the idea of this move is just to play c6, then a4, queen to a5. But nowadays, it's not dangerous because it's we have very strong move knight b5 to avoid this, to avoid c6, and then just we have bishop e4, queen c2, rook a to d1, and white has a very strong pressure in the center, and it's very difficult for black to find good counterplay here. So what about bishop d7? This is modern approach, how to play this line. Here, very important is, yeah, the idea of this move that now queen c2 doesn't work because of this, and then take this. But here you can just play b3, I don't know, h6. And the problem for black that black has also uh, the black has not so much useful moves here. So black has a problem with useful moves in this position. And we, in some moment, very unpleasant for black is just to play f3 here, it's okay, and then bishop e3 to finish again to put this bishop on e3. If white achieve this idea, if white achieve this goal, And in this setup, whites one of the whites' goal is to put this bishop on e3, and black has to avoid this. Black has to avoid this, and if white achieve this goal, then white has a simple plan, which was played in the game of Tigran Petrosian against Viktor Chekhovs in the previous game, which we studied in the beginning of the lesson. So, okay, we can discuss what about knight c6. What about knight c6? How to deal with this? This is a second very important move in this position. I think it's nowadays it's stronger than knight d7 from my point of view. Um, but okay, but again, white has a very good move. Now e5 is not good because this position is so this is very good position. This is similar to classical system of yeah. But the problem that in some moment we play f4 and then this knight on e7 is problematic piece. So usually uh, if black plays this knight c6, then they prefer bishop e5 or bishop to a6. Okay, let me show you what about bishop e5. Against bishop e5, we have I like the idea which was played in correspondence database, which I found in correspondence database, and the idea is to play d5, knight to e5, and now knight to h4 to attack this bishop. The idea that this doesn't work because we take and with d3 we uh, take back the pawn, and the king is weak. The position of the king is totally destroyed. Bishop pair advantage, so a big advantage for white. This is the idea. And for of course, knight c4 is a blunder. Bishop to d7, and now very important is bishop b3. This is doesn't work here. This is doesn't work because of this move. I think, yeah, to attack this knight and the bishop to threatening take this knight on e5 and or take this bishop on e1. And in case of yeah, okay, normal move here is c5, and now very important idea is this. The idea that after this move, of course, it's a big blunder positional to take on b5, and we play this move with the intention to play bishop c3 to attack this knight. In the case of this, we take back the pawn, and get a very, very big advantage. Then the simple plan is e4, e4, f4, knight to e3. Very, very unpleasant position for black because this knight on b7 is out of play. So now he works about a6. There are a lot of options, but nowadays I like this rare but tricky idea is to play e3 and then queen to e2. The idea is that after this I want to play this. So this is the idea. This is very good idea for white. Queen e2, rook to d1. You have to remember this. Now very bad is just to play this because after this we have a very strong center, and also black has weaknesses on the queen side. So after a3, e6, take. So you see this isolated pawn, and it's a very, very uh, comfortable, very, very comfortable advantage for white in this position. So, okay. And also a few words about c6, rare move, but also playable. Now I like this and d5. I want to show. I want to say that for 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 this system usually it's not good idea to close the center. So if you choose this line, uh, if you choose Fianchetto, With white, you have to keep the center. You have to keep the pressure on the center and not to play d5. You have to keep your pawn on d4. But in this move order, I like this move. I like this move. And okay, the main idea, the typical move is b5, but you know that you see this position that b5 is very bad because the bishop on g7 is a weakness in the black's position, and black has not enough resources to create strong counterplay on the queen side, and this is a problem. And uh, this b5 helps white to get an advantage because after b5, for example, then b4, and then we get very good square for the knight on c4. Oh, for example, knight a6, a3, b4, knight to a4, bishop to d7, b3, queen to c7, bishop to f1 to attack this knight on a6, queen to b7, knight to d2, knight to 8, knight to c4. And now, so I think that black position is very, very close to collapsing because a lot of weaknesses. There is a straight knight to e5. I want to play bishop d2, then rook c1, knight e5, knight c6. And for black, it is very difficult to create some counterplay on the king side here. Okay. Subscribe for the channel, recommend this video for other advanced players. And if you have some, maybe if you want to see some other ideas, maybe write in the comment, and I try to prepare for you another video. And also, I'm available just lessons. The price is not high. Also, I want to say that I am grandmaster, and my highest elo was 2000. Okay, near 2600. I have a lot of students. I prepare for students difference of levels, and so I have some students quite strong. Okay, if you want to improve your chess, send me message. I will be happy to help you. Okay.